Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy, Gemini Matt. It's the Crypto Harlem live stream, Saturday, April 12th. Thanks for joining. And I have a special guest who will be joining us today. I don't know if they're ready. If they're ready, they could raise their hand and I'll pull them on. Okay, yeah, let's do it. Okay, everyone, put your hands together. Put your hands together for the one and only special guest of Crypto Harlem.
Hey. What's the word, family? Thank you for having me.
Hey, what's up? Hey, to the people up in the Crypto Harlem chat, what's up? To my boy Freddie Martinez, what's up? To Rich Rose joining from Facebook, what's up? To Ever Ready Bagel Butt, introducing the one and only Army Armistead. Put your hands together one more time.
Thank you, family. Thank you for having me here.
Hey, what's up, Army? So, the live stream audience doesn't know who you are, probably. So, who are you? Who is Army?
Yeah, I am. I am a co-founder of Emerging Works. We support system impacted community members through digital literacy, professional and personal development, and also just creating a safe space around returning citizens and those impacted by mass incarceration. But under that, I'm an artist. Most importantly, I'm a father. Just a man in healing. I like to see this season of my life as a healing journey and just a student, lifelong student. So however I can learn, whoever I can collaborate with to continue to just serve communities, serve the Black community, make sure that they get the skills that they need to succeed and thrive. Like no more of this survival, no more of this struggle mindset. How do we really shift the mindset? How do we shift the narrative? And that comes from experience, comes from being system impacted, comes from being a Black man, right? And like experiencing depression and homelessness and different things of that nature. So like I know it's possible. And yeah, just trying to continue that narrative, create more of those victories.
Thanks, Army. That's so inspirational. Every time I talk to you, fam, I'm always like, I'm just filled with so much positive energy, and I wanted to know if you could just talk a little bit more about what you co-founded Emergent Works for people who don't know about Emergent Works. Like, we did a live stream on Emergent Works graduation day, and we talked to people about Emergent Works and how amazing Emergent Works is. But for those who missed all that, you want to talk about it real quick?
Yeah, for sure. EW is my baby. Shout out to Alex Chin, the founder, who really put me in a position to lead, right? To grow and to lead, which is really important. But EW, we got two programs, technical education and career knowledge. And that program is for 18 and over system impacted folks across the country to learn digital literacy skills and workforce development skills. And we also pay our community members to come through because it's an investment in themselves. These are moms, these are dads, these are people that are working 9 to 5, they're students already. So they're taking that extra step to really invest in themselves. And there's also a program at Emerging Works called TRAP, Technology, Rhythm, and Passion, geared towards the younger crowd, right? 16 to 24. And they're learning digital literacy and workforce development, but also they use music to heal. So using music as that vehicle for that cognitive change, right? And really excited to have been a part of everything that is going on there. And the fact that there's been so many graduates, right? Close to 300 graduates. People are social entrepreneurs. People have gone on to make 6 figures in tech companies. And that was really important. We was birthed through, shout out to the uprising, right? Post George Floyd, and being able to be one of the nonprofits that could really use that time in that season as a foundation and momentum to create transformational change was a blessing. And a part of that, Alex, one thing that she made sure of was making sure I was connected to other Black leaders in the space. And one of those Black leaders was Matt. And, Matt was just a consistent support and consistent ear throughout my leadership journey overall. So yeah, EW, make sure you guys check them out. They're doing some great things over there. And, shout out to the team.
Yo, EW all day. Shout out to the team. Thank you for the kind words, Army. I got to go to one of those trap classes, and I taught about how to turn your music, because it's like a lot of people are like, really creative and passionate. They have poetry, they have rhymes, they got music, and how to turn that into digital non-fungible tokens, NFTs, and how to make NFTs and how to copyright your stuff, and how to use like the technology behind cryptocurrency to give you some way to have some agency and control over your materials, and how that could lead to you proving early ownership and copyright and other things, as well as getting signed to like a NFT label and all these other things. Like, so that was dope talking to folks about that. They're really excited about that because, also teaching folks how to do it, right? Everything on a phone, like no computer, 100% phone. And we walked through that and we did it and it was cool. So just making it like no barriers and available to all peoples, especially folks who are system impacted. It just, that's what Crypto Harlem's about all day. And yeah, thanks Army for the opportunity. Thanks for all the amazing work that you do. Okay.
Oh, love always.
So yeah, you can hang with us as long as you want. You can bounce anytime. Just let me know. But I thought it'd be cool if you could join us today. And we've been doing this whole series called Get Ready, Stay Ready, but like the cyber version of it. And we're talking about, in these uncertain and challenging times, how you could use technology to better yourselves, look out for yourself, look out for your family, and just, be prepared for anything that might come, like from like how to have an encrypted message to how to secure your phone to how to organize other people on encrypted platforms like element.io. Props to the folks at Element. Yes, last week we did a whole one on how to properly pack a file, keep it encrypted and secure, and then put it on a shelf secure for someone to pull down, or how to send it, transmit it fully encrypted and secure, So that was dope. And we did all that within 1 hour. Thanks to everyone for helping me. I left my mic on mute. I made a lot of little cooking mistakes, but it came out like chef's kiss. It was perfect. So yeah, thanks. But are there ever things that you hear, like questions people come to you with, or questions that you think the community would need an answer to?
I think one thing that I'm excited about with Crypto Harlem is that, like a lot of nonprofits, even in my experience, right, we're not properly securing the data. Like there's a lot of sensitive data, and we're just relying on like the Google Suites and whatever documents that we can lock or encrypt with a password here and there that we're using, probably for other different sites, right? Like, let's just be honest about it. So I think there's a real need around like, what are the ways that we should be handling this information, especially with these vulnerable populations that we're serving? How are we, because funders want information as well, right? So how are we sending that? How are we storing that? Like you said, on a shelf for people to grab, but also being able to narrate and tell our story with the data, without harming folk as well. So yeah, that's one thing that I'm really looking forward to learning more about, and also being a part of that change and being a part of that system as well.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, I think vulnerable populations, their information is everything. Like data is so much on you, right? And we don't want to make the issue worse for people. We want to make it better. At the same time, to do that work, it requires money and capital, and that comes from funders and grant makers. And they often ask like all kinds of details, right? Like how many people, to what effect, what days, what are their names, where the addresses, verify all the stuff, So, and that could put vulnerable people in a really difficult situation. So it's not like you have to have that information because you're like, hey, that could give me the money that I need to really serve this community or serve more of a community. But at the same time, it's like having almost two versions of the information is key. I would say it's like obviously the day-to-day version of the information that is in flow, right? So it's highly available. So it has to be in the Google or wherever you store your thing, right? But the one that's for the funders, I would say they only ask for it like once or twice a year. That shouldn't be on an online system. You should pull it down, that version of the detailed stuff, and and put it in an encrypted hard drive. That's like my favorite thing to do. And encrypted hard drive, when I say that, I mean like a hard drive with a little number pad on it, like the ones that the Apricorn sells. That's a company out near San Diego. It looks their hard drives, they look like this. They see little numbers on them, like a little phone dial pad. And when you plug them in, it's like nothing. It's like they don't actually load or nothing happens. But when you put in the code, then it decrypts your data and you can access it. And anything that's sensitive, I will put there. Anything that's about somebody that you maybe need for intake or processing, or especially to get money for the org, I will put there. And then the version of their info that's like in the cloud or in stuff that's around every day, I would edit out last names. I would maybe even put nicknames. I would edit out addresses, all that stuff. So you can collect it and store it on the drive, but the one that's out flying around, I always try to make sure that one's like as encrypted as possible.
I love that.
Yeah, I think like that's key. And it's like a lot of people don't know these drives exist. They're not like mad expensive. It's like if you obviously when you want to get one, it's an investment. So I always recommend the ones that are solid state. So the solid state drives, like these SSD drives, solid state drive, it doesn't have any moving parts. It's just a chip and a bunch of glue in a box. And so I would get whatever solid state drive I could afford. The smallest one is the 240 gig, and it's like $200. Not a lot of space, 240 gigs, but it's usually, you get it down, you compress your stuff, it's good.
Yeah.
And then like bang for your buck, there's a $500 one. It's like, basically almost 3 times the price or whatever, but you get way more data than you don't get more than 3 times.
Terabyte is good.
Yeah, so it's a whole terabyte, and that's a lot of data it can hold. And if you're on the go, then I would recommend the keys. They're very expensive, and these keys, like when you put the number in, you can unlock it just like the hard drive. But if you put a certain number in, it formats the entire key. So you could put like a duress number in, and then the whole key gets like erased, which is cool. So if like, hypothetically, allegedly, I'm holding information on undocumented communities, or heavily monitored and oppressed community, like trans folks or whatever, I might, where identity really matters, I might put it on there, and then if I put in the duress code, boop boop, it's gone, and
wow.
So that's another thing to have.
Oh, that's fire.
Yeah,
I'm follow up with that. That's
exactly.
I like that.
From James Bond, makes you feel really like Born Identity, next level.
Yeah.
Type stuff. And then in the audience, D Elixir says also have a data deletion policy in place where submissions shouldn't be kept forever. Okay. So it's like you have some kind of data retention or deletion policy.
Yeah.
And then you can do that. Let me try to make sure I hit that right.
I love that.
And what else we got? And then somebody says, you mentioned Apricorn to us a little while ago. I bought 2 of them. Whoa. Wow, that's dope.
I love that.
Yeah, that's what's up. So very cool, very cool. Bagel Butt, I hope you like your Apricorn drives. Hope they're working great for you. There's an instruction book. Whatever you do, don't forget the numbers, because there's no way. I don't know. I think there's a code for factory reset where it'll wipe everything and then do a full reset, so it's not like you ruined your investment. But don't forget the numbers. There's no way to forget password in this encryption game. Like it's by design. So don't forget your numbers. I tell people when you get the drives, maybe make a calendar entry or alarm on your phone and just unlock it every once in a while, so you remember your muscle memory is put the numbers in. You know what I'm saying? So that's a good one. Yeah, that's a great. Thanks, family. That was a dope question.
Thank you for the gems. Thank you for the gems. That's super impactful. Definitely moving forward, we'll be mindful of those things, and I'm going to follow up with that drive. That's very important.
100%. And let's see. Is there anything else we want to talk about or announce, Army?
Oh yeah, I am the new project director of Crypto Harlem. So when I'm speaking about being a part of the solution, that's because like I'll be working closely with Matt to make sure that we show up, for our people, make sure that we show up with resources, with education, with opportunity, and really make some more change. And this is important. Like it can be fun. That's the thing about it. It can be fun. It's education. It's important. All of the things that are important to our community, we just don't have access to. So we're going to break those barriers down. We're going to build something amazing.
Yeah, we will. I mean, I've been Crypto Harlem's like a very expensive child, you know.
Yeah, I can
So, you
imagine.
know, I know, congratulations to you. I know you're a dad, and I'm not been blessed with a kid, you know what I'm saying? So Crypto Harlem is my baby. 11 years ago, I came up with it, and I founded it and built it up. And it's an honor to have someone like you, Army, you know, to take over the helm and just the reins of this thing and take it to the next level. You're such an amazing leader, from the Code Cooperative days to the Emerging Works days. Like, you know, it's just years ago working with you, fam. It's just an honor, and you're such a great person to support the community and take things forward. You know, so.
Now the honor is mine, fam. Likewise, definitely. I'm sure everyone here can also echo the same sentiments about you, Matt. So yeah, I'm really excited to just get the ball rolling, and yeah, like I said, just make sure that we show up like you've been over the last 11 years. So continuing that impact and continuing that legacy, something that's really important to me.
Oh yeah, I mean, you're gonna take it to the next level. I know you are. You got fresh energy, creative ideas, brilliant, well respected in the community and beyond, and somebody who's done very humble, but has done so many big things. You know, just an amazing human being, Army. Just to be in your
Oh
presence,
man.
people just tell me all the time about who was that brother I met. You know, like I was like, oh, that sounds like Army. You know, it's like yeah, just it's that energy.
That's
You know,
love.
just like, brought that positivity and like never gave up. And people just are inspired to keep going. And you know, when you're learning this stuff, it's even for the live stream audience, it's not easy remembering all these things and sticking with all these practices. And it's about care and support. We don't tell you to do it because we're trying to show how smart we are. We tell you to do it because we really love and support and care, and we know that's how we win in the end. So I know someone who's definitely been there, who's definitely done it, who's definitely won in the end and continues to win all day. And that's you, Army.
I love. Yeah, let's do it. We're gonna get it going. We're gonna get this going, and pardon me, and we're gonna continue to just make sure the community has everything that they need to be safe. And again, these are the things, these are conversations with our community that growing up we didn't get to have. We didn't really speak about, how to protect ourselves. It was more so, how do we use this? Do we have access to it? First of all, how do we use this? Now
Yeah.
it's how do we use it to get a job? We're not thinking about the spyware. We're not really thinking about this
Mhm.
scam likely that's calling us every 10 minutes. How did they
Mhm.
get our information? Like, how do we protect ourselves from these things, these people, the scams that's going on in the world, and also just our data and ourselves as human beings? So, and especially the populations that are impacted by this administration, which means every human being. So, like, literally, this is a human thing, and we need to really support each other in this time because this is a human thing, and we're gonna rise. We've risen for decades. Our ancestors do this. Like, we got their blood in us. So, just Matt, I'm ready to continue to collab with you and figure it out.
Yeah, fam, it's gonna be dope. And it's like you said, like there was a whole thing was like, let's get more phones and let's get more computers into the community. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And there was like, let's get all these lessons on how to code and how to bring electronics into these streets. But then we didn't talk about the harms that come from it. There's positive byproducts, there's negative byproducts, a lot of technologies, a lot of things.
yep,
And now we're dealing with a lot of that. And that's what Crypto Harlem's here for. So we're good, you know? And
yeah, we're here.
yeah, exactly. And we talk about current events and we talk about how things are happening and they impact everyone, every human being, no matter where you are on the planet Earth. And I couldn't think of a better time for Crypto Harlem to just like rise up, like you say, and a better leader to take us to the next level, you know? So,
Come on, let's do it. It's gonna be fun. I'm excited. I'm really excited. Really trying to connect the dots. So, Matt, again, thank you for trusting me, supporting me throughout my career, throughout my journey as well. And yeah, this is gonna be really exciting. Really exciting.
yeah. And so for the live stream, what that means is we're probably eventually going to not do Saturday stream. We're going to eventually find a different day. We'll do it. We'll probably do 2 streams for a little bit just to transition to, and yeah, it's going to be dope. Like I'll always be here cheering Army on and, but it'll be cool. We have guests, we have people, we have like Q&As
Yep.
and stuff. We got exciting ideas. I listen to Army now, you know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. you know so yeah, project director, appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me on this Saturday. Yeah, really humbling experience too, fam. So thank you. All the kind words and just how you see, me showing up in this community It's truly an honor. I'm just here to serve. That's all. I'm here to serve. So yeah, we're gonna connect. Let's get up. I'm gonna tune in for a little more, and I gotta run some, do the family thing, the daddy duties. But thank y'all. Thank everyone for tuning in, supporting Crypto Harlem, supporting Matt. We're here. Season 2, we're here.
That's right. All right. All right, peace on me. I'll catch you.
All right, family.
That was the one and only Army, PD of CH, So I can't wait to see what we do as we continue to move on 2025, just like more than just surviving, just really thriving as human beings. That's what it's about. And yeah, just wanted to make sure we took some time out to applaud Army, who is just family to Crypto Harlem always. Like whether it's speaking at emergent work events or bringing them devices for their graduation ceremonies. For a lot of folks who are impacted by incarceration, they're returning citizens. It's like, now it's time for them to do stuff, but it's like a time warp, or you might not know how technology has moved on without you. You might not know. Yeah, I think you might have been. Yeah. I think Army might have been on that live stream with you. You know what I'm saying, Freddie Martinez. And so it's really cool to bring them devices, but also walk through 3D touch. We take that kind of stuff for for granted. It's like, wait, I push down and then I gotta hold it, and it's like, yeah, you don't just tap it, or touch screens in themselves, or a lot of the stuff that, if you think about it, like 5-10 years ago, or 3 to 5 years ago, where technology was, like right before the pandemic, people weren't using Zoom. They were like, what's Zoom? People weren't using video conferencing technologies like that. People weren't doing telemedicine and teledoctors, and people weren't encrypting and sending stuff all over the place. And the world was super different. Could you imagine just like being teleported into today's world and just being like, oh, this is the iPhone 17 or whatever, or this is the, how things are in this modern world. It's quite interesting. And so it's so dope to not only put people on to understand how technology works, but then to watch them learn how to write their own code, learn how to build their own software and apps and tools, and also have those things be used by large communities of people. And then those folks getting employed. It's just an amazing thing that Emergent Works does. So props to EW all day. And I think that Crypto Harlem, the energy the Army brings, the passion, the focus, the respect, is known. And I can't wait to see the next level, next chapter for C8. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what else I got. I'm trying to think like what we could squeeze into this time, because last week we did the whole like how to send a file thing, right? The week before that we did like how to carry unlimited cash in your go bag by using a cryptocurrency wallet. We talked about non-custodial wallets and how you can make sure you don't learning a lesson from the people of Kiev and what happened in Ukraine, where people were lining up to use ATMs like for days and days and days, because the limit was like $1,000 US to $3,000 US, and trying to take your whole life savings out slice at a time, then getting caught up behind it, in a conflict zone, like that's wild. So what would it look like if you needed to make a move real quick, and how do you handle that, and how do you secure your money? I think one thing that we talked about this MoneyGram thing, and how MoneyGram was partnering with USDC, and how that made it that you can actually easily go into like a place that you might have like a check casher, or like kind of like the bank of the streets, really. It's like the check cashing place, or the money transfer place for people who send money back home. You know what I'm saying? People who work really hard, just like really hard work every day, sending money back to their villages, their farms, their cities and communities in other countries. And we talked about that MoneyGram hack, and that's really been interesting, because what it's allowed to happen is that another thing that came from the conflict in Ukraine is it allows you to basically MoneyGrams everywhere. MoneyGrams everywhere. So it means that there's technically a place where cryptocurrency could be exchanged anywhere, especially in communities that are normally marginalized or impacted by these things, whether it's rural or urban. There's a MoneyGram. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's really changing the game. But USDC is not like Bitcoin. It doesn't go up and down. You might have seen all the stuff in the headlines, a lot of financial news, and USDC is always tied to the US dollar. So it's basically like a stable coin. It's just chilling, you know what I'm saying? Not to get too into that. So again, if you want to go back and watch that video, I think that was episode 3, right? Because 4 was sending a file. 5 is like, oh yeah, 5 we were going to talk about. I was going back into it, is real world communication, the real world. So when you're in the real world in meat space, you know, when your skin sack, you know what I'm saying, just rolling out like with your, you know, eyeballs instead of your monitor, there's also safety and security. And part of that begins with like what you wear, you know, like I'm wearing my Basquiat jacket. It's a favorite of mine, but it's also reversible. So you might want to have a couple of pieces of reversible gear. So just throw off like real world physical surveillance, whether it's people or whether it's cameras. So this jacket is really bright and colorful and wild. And it's got the dope art of, you know, 80s pop artist Basquiat, Jean-Paul respect, you know what I'm saying, all day. But at the same time, you want to practice walking, and I'm walking and I'm walking, and I turn my jacket inside out. And that dude in the colorful art jacket is now a dude in a black jacket with yellow arms. You know what I'm saying? Different person, different situation, you know? So you dip out from the world of surveillance and cameras and you pop back up and you got different gear and maybe you got different hair, right? So the person with the locks, you know what I'm saying? They become the person, you know, with no locks. Just tie them up, you know what I'm saying? Keep it back like that. Or with the hat, bam, like that. So, or with glasses. And it's weird. There's this thing, it's like facial blindness. And we talked about it on a couple of episodes of Crypto Harlem. So I just want to maybe like share. But you know, it's real, you know. Let me go. Let me just do. And let me see if I can find this thing. Recognize person change. Huh. Quick. Nope. Nope. Let me try to find this real quick. I didn't queue it up. I didn't queue it up ahead of time like I wanted to. And so let's see. People. Yeah, here we go. This one, I don't like that one. But maybe if I click on this one, it'll show me. Okay. You're about to see the first time this crazy psychological experiment I tried with my mates. This guy. Hold on. Let me try to see if I can find it. I want to find a better one. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. All right. So yeah, we're going to talk more about this and the science behind this. If I could find more of those. But since I'm just kind of like fumbling and y'all can't see what I'm doing, let's do it. Okay, let's put it on. Yo, my man Freddie Martinez, thanks for dropping that science on us. Treasury Department is talking about requiring Social Security numbers and IDs to wire money overseas, right? So we all know what that is, right? So it's again like not to get into too many specifics, you know what I'm saying? Because we're not about politics. We're just about cyber tricks. But at the end of the day, what it would look like for you to be able to like move money overseas. And we talked about that with a lot of these different wallets and services without that third party, which is the money transfer system. You know what I'm saying? And you could actually do it quite easily once you learn how to operate. And yeah, let me try to put a couple things on real quick. Let me put this one on about changing your appearance, and then I'm going to try to put something on about the crypto caves so you can learn more about that phenomenon. Okay.
Most of us think we're pretty observant, but with a bit of mind control, I wanted to see if I could make these people take even the most obvious things for granted. Excuse me. Yeah. Do you know how to get to Trinity Church from here?
Yeah. You see that church down there?
Yep, straight through there.
And then you keep going down.
Sorry, which way?
You see where that church is down there?
Yeah.
You stay on that, which is, I believe, Broadway. And then you walk down 2 or 3 blocks, and Trinity Church is on the right-hand side. We're walking in that direction.
Excuse me, you don't know where Trinity Church is, do you?
Might be Wall Street and Broadway.
Okay. Well, we're down here somewhere, aren't we?
Yeah, you see Trinity Church.
Oops, sorry.
Sorry. Yeah. Inside the Trinity Church. Right there. Yeah. If you keep going that way, you'll hit Broadway, then you go down a couple of blocks.
Yeah.
And,
Thanks very much. That seemed almost too easy, so later on I see how far I can take it. Excuse me, do you know where Trinity Church is?
It's in that direction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last time I switched with someone who looked a little bit like me, but where's the fun in that?
Okay.
You know who that's the right
This is so funny.
The other side, you see where the lady standing?
Sure.
That's the booth. No, the lady in the parade.
The other side.
Yeah, the other side of the
But
booth.
so you don't know where it is?
Exactly what street, no, but it's in that direction.
Okay.
Yeah, okay?
Thank you.
Excuse me. Do you know where Trinity Church is from here?
Yeah, fine. Come on, I'll take you. Or you want to walk now?
I'm gonna catch some other people.
Sorry, guys. Okay, listen, once you go on Broadway,
Yes.
remember the numbers are going... I could have sworn it was another guy. Once you hit the Broadway, you're going down.
Yes.
Walk up straight
that
that
way.
way and just walk straight down. You're going to
Brilliant.
see it. It's really brown.
That's brilliant. Thanks for your help.
All right, fine. Don't worry about it.
Excuse me.
This is
Do you know where Trinity?
Okay, hold on. Let me swap. This one, they keep going with that gag, and it just gets like more and more ridiculous after a while. I'm going to show you this other one, and this is about change detection and how the human brain works, and especially when we get fixated on like focusing on something that's in the close zone. We can't go broad, we can't go wide, and our inability to detect change.
Take part in a quick experiment. Take a look at this. Okay, now, did you happen to notice anything odd? Watch again.
Focus, y'all. Focus on this video.
See any changes? Don't worry if you didn't see that it's two different men. It means your brain is doing exactly what it should be. It's focusing on the meaning of the scene rather than on the irrelevant details. Imagine how much energy and brain mass it would take for us to remember every single person, place, or thing we encountered. The things that matter, a conversation with a coworker, your child's first step, would be drowned by a deluge of information. So when there are minor changes to the world around us, we often don't pick up on them. There are two similar phenomena at work.
Inattentional blindness is the failure to notice something that's fully obvious right there in front of you when your attention is engaged on something or someone else. Change blindness is a failure to notice a difference between what's there right now and what was there a moment ago.
Scientists such as Daniel Simons from the University of Illinois have spent years devising experiments testing just how perceptive and unperceptive humans actually are.
So we feel like we're aware of everything, that we're taking in all of the details, and that if something important happens, we'll automatically notice it. It'll capture our attention. The reality is that we often don't notice unexpected things because we're aware of far less of our world than we think we are.
So how much or how little are we actually aware of? We decided to recreate one of Simon's most famous experiments to see for ourselves. Here's the setup.
Our senior series producer Vin poses as a lost pedestrian and asks a passerby for directions.
Excuse me? I'm looking for the skyline.
Then, we break the two up, walking through them holding a large sheet of wood. Now watch as I replace Vin. You might think people would notice the switch, but almost half the time, they didn't. Of course, that means more than half the time they did. We only tried the experiment 9 times, and by no means was it good science, but we were surprised 4 people didn't notice the switch. In Simon's original experiment, 7 out of 15 people didn't either. So what determines whether or not you can figure out the switch?
When you look at another person, you encode what's relevant for what you're doing right then, in that case, giving directions, and you don't pay attention to the details that are irrelevant, say what color their shirt is or exactly how tall they are. As long as you are able to make sense of the meaning of the scene and roughly the main categories of that person, say their height, their age, what race they are, what sex they are, as long as those important things don't change, the meaning of the scene really hasn't changed and you're not going to notice that anything's different.
Scientists have documented inattentional and change blindness since the 1970s, and while they allow you to focus your attention, this failure to see every detail can prove costly. Drivers often cause accidents because they overlook quick changes to their environments, such as pedestrians or cyclists. Faulty memories can wreak havoc during eyewitness testimony.
The goal of vision isn't to build a photograph or a complete model of the world in your mind. The goal of vision is to make sense of the meaning of the world around you. Being aware of our limitations can help us adapt and compensate for them, allowing us to do things that prevent the really negative consequences that can happen due to failures of awareness.
For example, Simons thinks that people might be willing to put away their cell phone when driving if they just understood the limits to their attention. Juries might realize that eyewitness testimony is far from ideal. And the next time you and a friend are fighting about the details of a past event, it's likely you're both wrong. Now that's something to remember.
Cool. All right. So just remember, the weakness in surveillance is the human. You know what I'm saying? So until there's like more AI, object recognition, face tracking, human detection, in the real world scenarios, the real world situations, minor changes, you can make yourself invisible or disappear. And that's why like just looking down into your phone, having a big build cap really can protect you from not just, facial recognition recordings and cameras, but also human surveillance. Okay. So just keep that one tucked under your belt or whatever. And man, there was something else. I was like, oh, I got to show this other thing. Damn, I totally forgot what I want to share with y'all. I usually write them down on a list. I was so excited Army joined us today. But I'm going to try to remember. You have any questions? You have any thoughts, feelings, anything else like that that's going on? Let us know. Oh, yeah, I remember now. Okay. So I wanted to talk about this other phenomenon. Let's see if I can find it. See if I could find it. No. Man, it's so hard when you like if I didn't know anything about cryptocurrency, there's so much garbage and bad information out there. I don't know how people like if you were just like, oh, I'll just look it up on the internet and I'll just check in YouTube and don't do that either. It's like, wow, this is horrible. Let me see if I can find it on the regular internet. Okay, let's see. I'm about to give up. Wow, is that much bad information? Okay, this looks like if this is English. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, I think I can get. Let's see if these subtitles are good. My Spanish isn't that bad. I can understand if these are bad. Cuevas, baby. Cuevas. What? This is okay. Let's see if I can find a better one. This was okay. Let's see. Wow, just no. It's just not that much good info. Okay, let's watch this real quick. And this is a whole thing on crypto caves, which is something that, you know, especially in Argentina, people were making good use of. So I'm going to put this on. It's going to be in Spanish language. So if you don't know Spanish, you got 3 seconds to learn it. Hurry up, y'all. Duolingo Owl right now. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like, you had your chance. The owl warned you this moment was coming. Now let's go. No, just kidding. We have subtitles. So if you don't speak Spanish, you should, but we have subtitles. Let's see. Okay, I think this is it.
Hablar sobre las cuevas cripto. Me parece súper importante que en el mundo de las criptomonedas dominemos el concepto de cueva cripto. Ahora bien, puede ser que en Latinoamérica este concepto sea único. Inclusive puede ser que por países varíe. Por eso te voy a pedir un favor ya en estos pocos segundos que inicio para pedirte por favor que comentes en el box de comentarios acá abajo en el video cómo se llama en tu país el lugar donde la gente intercambia dinero por dinero. Es decir, yo estoy en Chile y quiero ir a una oficina, a un lugar, un local, comercial, lo que sea, a donde me junto con una persona y yo le doy dólares y esa persona me da pesos chilenos. ¿Cómo se llama eso en Chile? Si me estás escuchando en Venezuela, ¿cómo se llama en Venezuela? Si me estás escuchando en Perú, ¿cómo se le llama en Perú? Contame cómo se le llama. Porque, por ejemplo, en Argentina, si vos tenés dólares y querés pesos, sos un turista y no querés ir a un banco porque te arrancan la cabeza con el tipo de cambio, es decir, te roba el Estado, o traes dólares, te tenés que buscar en la jerga del tema financiero en Argentina, tenés que ir a una cueva. Es un comercio, un local, a donde la gente va, entra con dólares y sale con pesos.
Okay, so in this part of the art of the video, I'm not sure if you all can read the subtitles because they're kind of tiny. Oh wait, I think I can make them bigger. I'm trying to make them bigger real quick, but you know, but basically it's like every culture everywhere around the world, there's a place you can go where if you have one currency, you could change it for local currency. So maybe you have American dollars and you could change it for, you know, let's say Chilean pesos, right? And those are called different things in different communities in different parts of the world. And, you know, calling them caves or cuevas is a thing that they do in Argentina. So a crypto cueva is a crypto cave, and it's a place where you can go to turn your local currency, instead of turning foreign currency like tourist currency into local currency to avoid fees or just hassle and time. This is where you turn local currency into a kind of cryptocurrency, right? Might be it's Bitcoin, maybe it's, you know, USDC, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, things like that. Okay, so let's let the video keep playing, but I just wanted to explain in case you can't read it. And let me jump back into that video real quick and see if I could just make the subtitle. It's probably some setting deeper in that I never use on how to make the subtitle bigger. So I'm just gonna keep playing the video.
Para los ciudadanos argentinos que tenemos muchos pesos, vas a la cueva, metes pesos y salís con dólares billete. Bueno, ya salí automáticamente con el concepto. O sea, cueva cripto en Argentina es eso, un lugar donde yo voy con pesos y salgo con criptomonedas. No es muy difícil la analogía. Ahora bien, me puse a preguntarle a la inteligencia artificial y le dije, ¿qué entendés por cueva cripto? Por ejemplo, ChatGPT me dijo que como su conocimiento llega hasta septiembre del año 2021, cueva cripto no es una expresión comúnmente utilizada en el mundo de las criptomonedas, lo cual me parece totalmente erróneo. O sea, yo creo que en toda Latinoamérica, cueva cripto es una expresión comúnmente utilizada. bueno, parte de las palabras del loco de la inteligencia artificial me dice que cueva hace referencia a un lugar escondido. Bien, muy bien, porque la idea de una cueva, justamente, o sea, en Argentina, por ejemplo, es no decirle al Estado que yo estoy haciendo intercambio de monedas. Como ustedes saben, los intercambios monetarios son ilegales. Bueno, podés comprar pesos y vender dólares. Mucho menos podés ponerle precio a las monedas. O sea, eso no se permite en Argentina, por eso se le dice cueva a estos lugares. Ahora bien, cripto, la palabra sugiere relación con criptomonedas, entonces una cueva cripto es un lugar donde intercambiamos monedas por criptomonedas, básicamente. Me fui a BART también, que es otro de estos inteligencias artificiales muy famosos. Como ustedes saben, BART se alimenta de Google, así que está supuestamente actualizado en tiempo real. Es mejor la definición que tiene de cueva cripto, pero no es la exacta que lo usamos nosotros en la jerga, por lo menos de Argentina. Por eso me interesa, si me estás viendo de otros países, que me comentes acá mismo cómo le llaman a los lugares ustedes. Cueva puede ser una cosa en Argentina y a lo mejor en Chile le dicen de otra forma, en Perú de otra, en Bolivia, en el resto del mundo donde vos me estés viendo. Me interesa también en Europa, cómo le dicen a los lugares esto, si es que existen. Quiero creer que hay ese intercambio también de euros por criptomonedas.
Let me move forward a little bit. Okay. And we'll go from here.
Yo ya el año pasado publiqué qué son y cómo utilizar las cuevas cripto. Bueno, no les voy a resumir todo lo que dice el artículo. Sí es muy importante resaltar el tema de seguridad personal.
This is about how to do currency exchange.
Bueno, tema FIVE, como saben, ¿por qué obviamente es una cueva? Porque obviamente el Estado va a hacer lo imposible para venir a pescar de lo que vos hagas. Entonces, obviamente, si vos sos un pequeño empresario o una persona, porque las cuevas no necesariamente tienen que ser empresas, vos sos una persona que está haciendo intercambios. Vos tenés pesos y querés cripto, es decir, estás comprando, podés ser cueva. Entonces, el Estado va a venir y te va a sacar, no te va a pedir permiso, directamente te va a imponer que le pagues. Entonces, eso es lo que hace AFIP. Acá está el tema explicado con el tema de la AFIP, pero bueno, por eso no, por lo general, la gente no publica dónde está, porque mucha gente, o sea, muchísimo me escriben a mí a raíz de lo que cambia cripto, me dicen, Waldo, decime dónde encuentro una cueva en Palermo, dónde encuentro una cueva en Caballito, dónde encuentro una cueva cripto en Córdoba, dónde en Santa Fe, en Ushuaia, dónde está en Santa Cruz. Gente, yo no tengo un mapa a donde tengo todas las cuevas cripto. En este artículo, cuando lo publiqué en el 2022, dije que si sos de Córdoba, obligado a empezar por Córdoba Bitcoin, que es una comunidad bastante grande, que saben un montón sobre criptomonedas, específicamente sobre Bitcoin, saben pero muchísimo. Y
let me pause this because I don't want to just be. Here's an article, and in the article, homie talks about some etiquette for crypto gives, which is when you're going to meet somebody, you know what I'm saying, and exchange cryptocurrency with them, you know. And the thing is, like in Argentina, the financial situation, economic situation has always been really volatile. And there was a time, I want to say, like more than 10 years ago, it's almost like 12, 13 years ago, where people were just like, yo, I'm done with this. You know what I'm saying? Almost like what happened to Ukraine during the conflict, where they were like, yo, my money is locked up in my savings in my bank, and the bank is only letting me take out so much money and only letting me like secure the money. Like the way the people in Argentina were securing their finances was they would buy US dollars, which was a lot more stable. So they were like, you only can buy a certain amount of US dollars a day from the bank, and it's illegal in Argentina to buy US dollars from anyone else or trade money in any way. So people were just stuck. So they're just like every day just selling as much as they could of their Argentinian money to US dollars. And you just hit like, okay, I guess tomorrow I got to do more. And it's just really frustrating trying to stabilize your money that way. So that led to people actually going across the border to Uruguay and other countries to try to, you know, buy US dollars. It was like, it's a weird situation. It's very inconvenient and actually pretty expensive to go about doing that. And then people got put onto cryptocurrencies, and they were like, oh, you mean I could just sit in my room and just put a thing on my phone and then I could just buy as many US dollars as I want after I hit the cap for the day because it's US dollars through cryptocurrency. Yeah, I'm down to do that. And that made like Argentina, like just because of situationally, everyone got really into cryptocurrency and they developed a lot of different and evolved into a lot of different situations because of that, including these, crypto cuevas, which is like the cryptocurrency cave, and you go in there and then you just like roll up to somebody and you're like, hey man, I just need to get some cryptocurrency from my local currency, and they trade it over and you stabilize. And I think like I can imagine in a lot of places in the United States, especially in the inner city, we'll be taking a lot of notes from this. And so there's already spots like this. Maybe you can make a phone call back home on an internet IP phone, and maybe you can also do cell phone re-upping to SIM cards for your family back home. Or maybe it's the kind of place where you can just get some food from back home. And usually, honestly, in my neighborhood, it's all those things at one. It's like you could get the delicious, back home food made by a person who's also re-upping your cousin's back home cell phone plan, who's also wiring money back home for you and selling you a little, bootleg swag so you could still look good in New York without wasting your hard-earned dollars on silly pursuits. It's all done in the same space. And I think like this crypto cave thing is really one to watch, and understanding how that works so you could set it up in your community. It doesn't actually require a lot. You just need to be safe about it. And I think it's one of those things where we think about like mutual aid. It's like mutual financials. Okay. All right, y'all. Well, we are just about to wrap, so I don't want to get through just be sitting here playing videos with you. Let me stop that. Do we got anything in the chat? What do you got for me, y'all? I didn't get to put any music on or anything. I just really rushed in. I just like, boom, now I'm all energized. I feel like I got that manga, I'm about to shoot a fireball energy. Look at that. What's going on? So, but yeah, maybe we'll just wrap just a few minutes early today. I'll get a jump on my plan for the next one, and keep an eye out for when we tell you about the switchover, where this is going to be, and this series, the Get Ready, Stay Ready, will be the last of a bunch of our Saturday 1 p.m.s. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to be definitely promoting a different day. If you missed this series and you want to catch other episodes, you're in luck because it's on YouTube. What you do is you just go to youtube.com and then you go to, let's see how I get there. Boom. youtube.com/@CryptoHarlem. Okay. So youtube.com/@CryptoHarlem, like that. And that's how you get to the Crypto Harlem videos. But when you go there, you'll just see a few videos and you're like, yo, that's straight cap. Your videos aren't on there. I don't see anything. I see 2 videos, man, from like 1932. You know what I'm saying? Crypto Harlem with like black and white, gunpowder cameras and stuff. And I'm like, no, you got to click on live. So when you go to youtube.com/@CryptoHarlem, make sure you click on live. And when you click on live, then you'll see the whole thing. I'll show you real quick. So this is our page right here, okay? And then you click on live. And when you click on live, then you can see everything, okay? So where's live? Live is right here, the 3rd menu item in, and you'll see all the videos, every single video, including everyone in the Get Ready, Stay Ready series, which is the GRSR. So just definitely peep those, and just so you want to share those with your friend in case you're wondering. And I'll put the direct link to the archive of streams is in /streams. So it's youtube.com/@CryptoHarlem. If you just type Crypto Harlem, you're about to get that 404. Okay. And then you put /streams. And if people want to know, like, well, how come I can never reach you at 1 o'clock, family? You'd be like, oh, peep this. This is why. Okay. Because I'm live with Crypto Harlem. Right. So Heretic Hobbs knows. Heretic Hobbs been watching those recordings. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. You can't wait. That's how you do it, okay? You just go in and you just watch the archives of the streams. So, it's hard. It's hard out here. The time's about to change, Heretic Hobbs. we're about to change to a whole different day and a whole different time. It might be the time that works best for you. So you might have to join us live next time. You know what I'm saying? That'd be dope. So the babies are excited about that. All right, everybody. So thanks for rolling with me on the Crypto Harlem live stream. Really excited to hear about these new changes, Crypto Harlem, new project, new future, new program director, whole new itinerary, but the same delicious, quality that you love, just more of it. And I can't wait for what's in store. Just saying, as you already know, stay safe out there, encrypt, encrypt, encrypt. Watch the archives, youtube.com/@Crypto Harlem/streams, if you know what I mean. And that's that. So before I bounce, just respect to you. Gonna look out for, I know some of y'all are on Facebook and you're mad because I don't say your name. And I know some of y'all are on other things and you're mad because I don't say your name. So sorry about that, okay? But for the Twitch people, we're about to do this roll call. So Tornado, Heretic Hobes, Bagel Butt, Rootsman Chin, D Elixir, you know what I'm saying? Hands together for y'all. All right, let's do it. Boom. Forward to the nation. All right. Heretic Hobes. All right. Thank you. That's why we do it. Thanks for saying it was a good stream. Good stream. Appreciate you. Take it back, Let's go. In the VIP, Rootsman Chin. Thanks for always making time. In the moderator, making sure, keeping eyes out, making sure ops don't show up. The Elixir, okay? Getting rid of spam from the chat before it even shows up. Hey, Nerdish Tendency, you did it. You're here. You're rolling with the squad. Okay? Thank you. So happy that you finally called us. So, yeah, that's that, y'all. So, I'll see you later. Thanks for joining us. Peace. Respect.